Hey everyone, I'm Jen Sanasi, and this is your first look at the crypto markets for the week. Joining me on today's show is Binance's head of VIP and institutional, Chen. Catherine, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for being here. Now, it is Monday. We're sitting here. We saw a little bit of action in the markets this weekend, but there are a few key narratives that are driving us into the second half of this year. Curious what you've been watching.
Well, obviously, for the macro market, we continuously to watch the trade deal that's been happening across the globe. Every time there's a new announcement, clearly the whole market is reacting to it. I think it's been, we've woken up to a very excited market, and I think this will probably, this will probably continue to go on, and more. It is expected that more and more will unfold. So this is definitely the most important market event that we are all watching. Yeah.
I know that you lead coverage for Binance's most sophisticated clients. This includes individual traders and global financial institutions. Talk to me about how they're looking at crypto markets after the signing of the Genius Act. It feels like maybe there's a little bit more clarity when it comes to crypto regulation and how crypto firms and investors might be able to operate in the United States, at least. How are your clients watching these developments, and what kind of questions are they asking?
Regulatory clarity is something that and this is especially important for institutional investor. And when I talk about institutional investor, it is our existing one. And frankly, since the introduction of ETF, there are a lot more TradFi institutional investors who are, probably toying with the idea of, beyond ETF, beyond the TradFi instrument, should they make one step further into, actually trading the actual instrument, which is crypto, right? So again, for a lot of our client base, what you mentioned, Genius Act obviously sheds a lot more clarity for stablecoin. However, for the broader market, I think what a lot of investors are looking at are just more regulatory clarity with the industry and how specific instrument asset, instrument are actually regulated.
Midnight is a privacy-enhancing blockchain, introducing vital, programmable privacy and selective disclosure capabilities. It means DApps can allow users to control what information is revealed without putting sensitive data on-chain, allowing you to break free from the limitation of choosing between utility or privacy. We deserve more when it comes to privacy. Experience the next generation of blockchain that is private and inclusive by design. Break free with Midnight. Visit midnight.network/breakfree.
Can you give us any insight into the products and yield strategies that the VIPs and institutions are asking for right now?
Oftentimes, for traders, capital efficiency is key. What they do is they would generally pledge asset whether on the exchange or on our off exchange collateral partner, whether it's crypto native solution of it or it's a banking version of it. But generally speaking, for a trading type of institutional investor, what they will be looking at is a secure asset that can generate yield and that they can use as asset to pledge so that they can, they can operate their trading operation on the exchange, right? So some of the most recent announcement on Binance side is recently we have just started supporting tokenized version of money market fund as eligible collateral for our institutional investor to pledge with our partners, either banking partner or crypto custody partner, to pledge as eligible collateral so that they can trade on the exchange, right? So for this type of tokenized asset, really what matters to them is again interest-bearing, stable asset, so that they can just hold that as collateral and then they can use it towards trading on the exchange.
Tokenized assets have become one of these key narratives that have come out of this year. I'd love to get into your mind a little bit and talk about, what tokenized assets really unlocks for the existing players in this financial system. What are tokenized assets taking us towards?
Tokenized real world asset is not a new concept, right? It's been around for a long time and people have experimented different version of tokenized asset. However, what has really taken off this year is really the tokenized version of TradFi asset, right? And again, from the lens of the institutional investor that Binance covers today, first of all, it improves the settlement efficiency, right? It opens up the possibility of essentially allowing them to use these TradFi instrument and have it operating in a settlement window that matches the trading window, which is really 24/7, right? And again, generally a TradFi instrument is really just Monday to Friday. And again, this has always historically been a pain point. So this is really something that, obviously just massively improved the efficiency and really is something that matches the crypto operating hours.
Now, I know we talked a little bit about the second half of 2025, but I want to come back to some numbers here that were provided by Binance. So I know in the first half of 2024, compared to the first half of 2025, Binance saw VIP users grow by 21%, trade volume grow by 10%, institutional users grew by 20%, and volume grew by 12%. Talk to me a little bit about what you're seeing drive this growth.
For institutional investor, generally speaking, it takes them time. And again, we are talking about wide spectrum of institutional investor. In Binance VIP umbrella, this is where we really serve a wide range of different type of institutional investor, right? As you rightly point out at the beginning, we cover high net wealth individual, family offices, hedge fund, asset manager, all the way to the top high frequency traders and proprietary firm, right? So oftentimes for the institutional type of investor, it takes them time to ramp up their volume, right? Clearly, we have gone into a pretty positive, we've been riding on pretty positive market sentiment, right? So we have been seeing a lot of the institutional investor, after they on board, they follow the usual cycle to ramp up, but they obviously try to ramp up a bit faster so that they can, cash and ride on the market sentiment. We do expect to continue to see this number to grow because, again, quite a large number of the institutional investors that we're now onboarding onto Binance. Generally speaking, what we have observed is they definitely take a bit longer time versus our existing crypto native audience, because again, when it comes to institutional investor making the decision to come into crypto, making the decision on which trading venue to onboard and activate their trading activity, it all take pretty significant amount of time.
Catherine, thanks so much for joining me and taking a look at the markets this morning. I'm sure we'll chat again soon.
Thank you. Thank you.